Hello and welcome to this video on root pruning for beginners, and specifically some of the basics that can be either the best thing you can ever learn or the worst thing you can ever not learn. Root pruning is a fundamental technique and it is essential in bonsai cultivation. It helps to maintain the tree's health, size, and aesthetic appeal while staying confined to a very small pot. Unlike regular potted plants, bonsai trees are intentionally kept small through controlled growth, and root pruning plays a key role in ensuring that you can maintain the appropriate ratios. It partially prevents the roots from becoming overcrowded or pot-bound, refreshes the soil, promotes development of fine feeder roots for better nutrient absorption, and encourages overall vigor. Without root pruning, roots can and definitely will begin circling the pot, leading to poor water uptake, nutrient deficiencies, yellowing of the leaves, otherwise known as chlorosis, stunted growth, or even tree decline. Importantly, the root pruning itself does not stunt the tree in a harmful way, or in fact, any way. What it does is mimic natural root systems in rocky or constrained environments. This allows your bonsai tree to thrive in the long term. For beginners, root pruning can seem not just intimidating, but practically daunting. But it is a straightforward technique, let's call it, with preparation and care. Typically, you're going to be doing root pruning every 1 to 3 up to 5 years depending on the species, age, and pot size. The younger, faster growing bonsai trees may need it annually, while mature specimens will grow significantly longer. The process rejuvenates the root system by removing old, thick roots and stimulating new, finer feeder roots, which increases root density and efficiency. A side benefit is improving the nabari, the visible flare of the surface roots at the base of the trunk, which in turn enhances the bonsai's stability and visual appeal. At least over time it does. So the question is, why root prune? Well, it's health maintenance, removing dead, rotting, or diseased roots, and prevents root from compacted soil. Size control, keeping the root mass compact enough to match the small pot size and tree size. Nutrient efficiency, encouraging fine feeder roots that absorb water and nutrients better than thick woody ones. Aesthetic developments, building a radial root spread for balanced natural look. And repotting opportunities, often combined with repotting to add fresh, well-draining soil. This is what brings us to the big problem. Root pruning is safe when done correctly, and the big word there is correctly. Your bonsai will recover quickly because they're resilient, but over-pruning or removing more than 50% of the roots can stress or kill your bonsai, especially if combined with top-heavy pruning. This brings us to timing. Timing is absolutely critical to minimize stress, as it should coincide with the tree's dormant or low-growth period when energy isn't focused on leaves or flowers. As a general rule, deciduous trees are worked on in late winter to early spring, just before buds swell. Evergreens or coniferous trees are worked on in late winter, early spring, or late summer and early autumn. You want to avoid midsummer heat or active growth periods. Tropical and subtropical trees are worked on year-round, but it's best during warmer months when growth is active for quick recovery. You want to always check your local climate. Prune when nighttime temperatures are above freezing, but before full growth resumes. And avoid pruning during extreme weather, flowering, or if the tree is stressed. For example, pests or recent transplant. The obvious signs that it's time to prune the roots are that the roots are circling the pot's edges, the tree is beginning to lift up and out of the pot, slow growth, or poor drainage. If you're unsure, gently probe the soil, or in some cases if you can, simply lift the tree out of the pot to inspect. You'll need a couple of tools and materials. The tools needed are a root rake or root hook. This is used to comb out the roots without damage. It's essential for beginners, but a chopstick works for small trees and arguably anything reasonably similar in size and shape. Sharp pruning shears or concave cutters for clean cuts on thick roots to prevent tearing. A new bonsai soil mix to obviously replace what you're taking out, which should be well draining. A new pot, slightly larger if needed, or if you're just going to put it back in the same pot, you can forgo that entirely. Just ensure there's drainage holes and try and clean it. Wire and mesh to secure the tree and cover drainage holes. Possibly rooting hormone if you need to encourage new growth on cuts, and possibly protective gear to avoid, yourself getting covered in mess or possibly transferring diseases between bonsai if you're working in that sort of environment. The step-by-step process involves fairly predictable steps, let's say. First of all, start your work in a nice shaded area on a clean surface. This is both for your comfort and that of your bonsai. Water the tree a day before to make the roots pliable and reduce shock from what you're about to do. We suggest in the week or so beforehand you use some sort of tonic or similar solution, for example that made from fish emulsion, seaweed or similar. This just helps to maintain the tree's general vigour. Remove the tree from the pot and gently tap the pot side or possibly use a root rake or root hook to loosen. Tilt and slide the tree out. Simple enough. While you are taking it out, support the trunk. The last thing you want to be doing is dropping it or knocking it on something and breaking your tree. If it gets stuck, cut the pot if necessary. This is obviously only applicable if it's plastic. If it's ceramic, you're going to have to work a little more hard at this. Once it's out of the pot, clean the roots using a root hook or similar, or whatever works really. Raking away old soil in a radial pattern, that's outward from the trunk. Avoid pulling too hard, let gravity and gentle combing do most of the work. Treat it just like you would someone's hair. Rinse it with water if the soil is stubborn, but try not to soak it. You may not get much choice in that eventually, but soaking creates issues with the root becoming slightly bloated and easily torn. Inspect and prune your roots. Identify the fine white feeder roots, these are what you want to keep and they are vital, and the thick woody roots. Prune these away aggressively, and anything that is dead or black looking. These are needing to be removed entirely because they are dead. The general rule is to cut back 1/3 to half the root mass overall. You want to focus on trimming the long circling or downward growing roots, cutting at a roughly 45-degree angle just above the smaller root or node for healing. You want to aim for either a flat, radial root pad that fits the pot, or slightly domed, with the very center being higher than the edges. For nabari improvement, you can remove upper growing or crossing roots. As a rule of thumb, never remove all fine roots. This should be pretty much obvious from what we said, but still, just in case. Leave at least 50% for recovery, and more if the tree is weak. Repotting the tree is done by placing mesh over the drainage holes, adding a thin layer of soil to the pot bottom, and positioning the tree as appropriate for that pot, typically slightly off-center for aesthetics, and ideally at the same soil level as before or possibly slightly higher for better nabari exposure. Fill it with soil, working with a chopstick or similar to eliminate air pockets, and then wire the tree if it's needed for stability. In terms of watering and aftercare, water thoroughly until it drains out the bottom. Try to use a fine nozzle if you can. This is mostly to avoid displacing the soil you've just spent all that time and effort putting into the pot and around the bonsai roots. Place it in a shaded protected spot with no direct sun or wind for up to a month. This should give it time to recover from what you've just done to it and its trauma. Mist the foliage daily if it's dry and fertilize lightly after that 4-week window, sometimes up to 6 weeks, but roughly in that time frame. But only once new growth begins to appear. Too much fertilizer too soon will cause damage and possibly long internodes. And monitor for wilting. A recovery can take up to 8 weeks, but most trees will be bouncing back much sooner than that. The common mistakes that beginners have to learn from, and we hope you can avoid learning them, is pruning too much or at the wrong time. For example, pruning the roots during active growth. Using dull tools, which rather than cutting the root, crushes them, meaning you don't get a clean cut. You may not notice this at first, but the bonsai certainly will. Ignoring the aftercare with direct sun post-pruning, which is essentially throwing it out to bake in the sunlight after you've just put it through horrible torture. And not sealing large cuts, which is really somewhat necessary for wounds over 1/4 inch in terms of root mass, because the roots will be wet, so you want to try and seal them if you can. And finally, overwatering afterwards. This is essentially setting it up for root rot. You want to let the soil dry slightly between watering. If you do it too frequently, you're waterboarding your bonsai and it will die. With practice, root pruning should become fairly intuitive. Start with the more forgiving species like ficus or Chinese elm. If your tree starts to show stress post-pruning, it's normal. Just make sure you're trying to provide consistent care, and it should recover. It should being an operative word there. But there is, let's say, the 10 most common species that need certain care when it comes to root pruning techniques. And with that in mind, we'll touch on some of the major points, but we're not going to go through all of these for you. And just be aware of them. For example, with junipers, your timing is somewhat more important, but you can be more aggressive when you are pruning them. The ficus can be done year-round, and you can be very aggressive when doing so, but only if you're in an area that supports that. Maples aren't so cooperative a lot of the time, and you need to be a little more careful. Chinese elms can sometimes be similar, more so if you're pruning outside of very early spring. Japanese black pine is a little more challenging, because you need to be very conservative with the amount of root mass you cut and making sure you leave behind soil for the mycorrhiza that they need to survive. Trident maples are fairly hardy, but you really only need to work on them, and should only work on them, in late winter and early spring. Azaleas are not so forgiving, and you need to be especially careful with their fine feeder roots. Too aggressive and they basically go into shock and up and die on you. Jade or Crassula ovata are mostly good year-round, but when you are making sure to repot them, there's a period where you basically need to not water them at all to ensure they recover properly, and to encourage, in a manner of speaking, a new root growth to recover. Bougainvilleas are fairly resilient to what you're going to do to them, and just be aware that they need heat to recover. So as a result, working on them in summer is a better idea than the rest of the other species we've mentioned. And finally, boxwood. These are fairly resilient to anything you do, and you can mostly abuse them to your heart's content. Just be aware that they like steady moisture, so recovery after the fact requires careful watering. But if you keep that in mind, they'll basically take whatever you do and keep rolling. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it interesting, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. And please do post any comments, questions, or suggestions you have below.